We're here with Matt from McLaren, the Breakfast Club. Brought along an MP4-12C.
Yep.
Early, well, pre-production model, I'm led to believe.
That's right.
Can you just give us a quick overview of the car?
Yeah, sure. I mean, obviously the 12C itself is kind of a new venture for McLaren. McLaren Automotive, we're really building a new car company, so the 12C is our first model to be coming out this year. It's an important car for a few reasons. It's got a carbon fibre chassis, so it's the first sub £200,000 car to have a carbon fibre chassis. Not only that, it's the first one-piece carbon fibre chassis car ever. So it's quite a unique car in that sense. It's got a couple of other unique systems on it. The hydraulic suspension system. Obviously, we carry the air brake as well, which you'll be familiar with from previous McLaren cars. We've got a rocker system, so rather than having paddles, it's a one-piece rocker. That's something that we took from our Formula 1 cars, so you can push or pull, whichever your preference is. And that has a precog system as well, so you can actually cue the gear that you're about to change into. So you just by applying a slight amount of pressure to the rocker, it'll, like focusing an automatic camera. You just halfway and then.
A half push says I'm going to be needing this in a while.
Exactly, yeah. So that will prepare the next gear. So if you use that, correctly, I mean, you get practically no torque interruptions to the rear wheels going through all the 7 gears. So it's a lot of fun, just relentless acceleration.
But presumably there's also a dummies version of that that you can set the car to nurse you through it.
Absolutely. When you first jump in the car, it's always set to normal mode. So performance and handling is set to normal, and it's automatic. It's very, very compliant ride. I mean, you could, I'd be happy for my mum to take this down the shops in the rain, and it's not going to bite. It's not going to bite my mum, but no, it's a very, very usable car.
Yeah. And then as you get more acclimatised to the car, you can obviously push yourself by setting.
Yeah, I mean,
a less intuitive or a more driven experience.
Yeah, I mean, and surprising thing about the 12C is, I mean, certainly when I first drove the car, I was going to take it easy. I didn't want to, get anything too wild going on, but I found it so comfortable. I mean, the visibility of the car is something that's absolutely key. I mean, we think whether you're trying to park a car or whether you're trying to place it on a race circuit, I mean, visibility will make you feel comfortable and make you confident. And so, I mean, the car does have this kind of that kind of immediate sense of comfort and confidence in the driving.
Being able to spot the apex was one of the defined criteria for the design.
For example, I mean the cowling of the windscreen is so low. I mean you get an amazing view of the road that's coming up, and the highest point on the front wings from the inside is directly above the centre of the front wheels. So
you're immediately spotting that.
You're very aware of the car. You're very aware of the surroundings. It makes it very easy to place. It's just an absolute pleasure to drive, to be honest.
And first customer cars are being delivered when?
We're looking at I think certainly summer this year in the UK, and obviously we've now got a global market, global representation in with our retailers. We've got 35 retailers over 19 countries now. It's really exciting time for us to
So this is global approval. There's no issues with US or anything like that.
No. So we're going to be in the US. We're going to be all over the place. So yeah, I mean, certainly if people want to see where we're at, then obviously go on the website and there's a lot of information on there. But I mean, some of us have been in this project for many years now. So to get to this point now, where we're actually customers are coming in, specing cars, and we're going to make deliveries. We can't wait for the car to get out into the streets, as it were.
And this is one of a range of new vehicles?
Well, certainly. I mean, certainly we're building a car company. It's not, we're not just doing just the 12C. You may be aware that we've built a new facility next to our headquarters in Woking, and we've kind of future-proofed ourselves with that facility. It's far bigger than we currently need, so we certainly intend to progress as a road car company, certainly.
So not purely F1, and with this as a showcase, but road vehicles all the way.
I mean, I over the next decade, it's going to be very exciting for us. We're certainly hoping to really kind of spread our wings, as it were, and as a road car company, be represented in multiple points in the market, certainly.
Okay, competitors. The McLaren, I guess, visually there are style cues as well that have been echoed by the 458 Italia. Size-wise, it's very compact, again, on the like of, say, a Gallardo or LP560.
Yeah.
Where do you see it fitting into the market?
Well, we feel that McLaren perhaps has its own kind of identity in that sense. We're not perhaps we're not the most flamboyant styling-wise, but I think that's something that McLaren fans, expect from us. We're not doing things for pure styling reasons. I mean, everything on the 12C is there for a reason. Every lump and bump, every vent, every line is there to channel air.
The old cliche of form follows function.
That's exactly it. So I mean, and that is, I suppose, very McLaren.
Right.
We're not, we're not necessarily trying to make a statement visually, but the car itself, I suppose, if you put it in a subtle colour, it can be a very subtle car and blend in. If you put it in a McLaren orange or a white, perhaps, then it has that kind of presence of a supercar. But certainly, we understand that there's no point in being a Lamborghini if there is already a Lamborghini. There's just no point. So, we're comfortable with. The kind of that, as you said, the form follows function kind of mentality is certainly very McLaren, and we're happy with that.
It is a very stealth design. I know I've passed a couple of the test vehicles out on the M25.
Yeah.
And you can see people drive past without a second look, not realising they've just passed a development vehicle. Whereas others are covered in swirlies and look like something out of a pop art book. The McLarens are just in the stealth black and do kind of hide away a little bit.
But
certainly. Obviously performance is where they do all their talking and how the car drives.
Absolutely, yeah.
So lots of carbon covers.
This particular model is quite highly spec'd. I mean, when we're doing our prototypes, we obviously need to try out every option many times just to fine tune everything, get the production guys prepared for going into production, be familiar with all the parts. So some of our prototypes are highly spec'd. In this case, it is, and obviously we've built many cars of different specs. So this one in particular has most of the carbon fibre options, I think.
Yeah, it certainly does look like it's the carbon fibre play kit. I noticed there's no extravagances like the gold-plated that you had on the GTR.
No, we didn't require that this time round. Obviously, and it's a different price point as well. For
sure.
We certainly wanted to make the car more accessible, really, than our previous road cars, perhaps. But at the same time, the exclusivity will still be there, numbers-wise.
So here I'm just seeing coolant and oil.
I mean that's the interesting thing with the 12C, because obviously we understand that many people when they look at a supercar, they want to peer in the back and see something shiny and something. They want to see the engine basically, but because the engine is mounted so low in the 12C that it makes it very difficult to have
It's
anything.
not jumping out there and presenting itself, because obviously the lower your centre of gravity, the better the handling.
That's exactly it. In fact, the top of the heads on the V8 in here is lower than the top of the rear tyres.
Wow. Okay.
So from a dynamics point of view, that's has a massive benefit as far as weight.
And rear of the engine, what do we have under this?
Under here we have our exhaust system. I mean, if you look at the exhaust here, I mean, as we were saying before, form follows function. A lot of people ask, well, why have we got our exhaust up here? Simply, it's the shortest route to the engine. Obviously, the smaller you can make the system, the lighter it's going to be. But it also allows our rear diffuser to be uninterrupted by holes for exhaust. So, most of the downforce on the 12C is achieved underneath. It's almost a ground effects car, really. So you have a flat belly and then a huge rear diffuser, which will suck it down. So these exhausts, basically we don't put massive holes.
But as you say, that's just straight out of the engine and out of the back. The fastest way to get the fumes away and get onto burning some more fuel.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Okay. Can we just have a quick look at the door mechanisms as well now that we've opened the back? Again, it's a very tidy hatch.
Yeah, of course, yeah. We have these dihedral doors. The reason being is when we came up with the original footprint of the 12C, we had the vision of when it's a complete blank sheet of paper. We started with the 12C, so we drew literally a driving position, and we had in mind the seat and obviously the steering wheel and the pedal box perfectly in line. We didn't want to compromise on that at all. And then a perfect wheelbase. And once you start to get these kind of waypoints, as it were,
you slot the components in and then you build the cladding around it.
Exactly, yeah. So the reason for the doors being this way is so that we can get in and out. Because obviously if we had another pillar down here with hinges on and a big coupe style door, when the door swings out, it'd have to be quite wide in order for you to get your feet in and out of here.
So it does allow you to open up the access
Yeah.
more than a conventional, because you are virtually right onto the
here.
wheel tub there.
Yeah, I mean, there's not another pillar here, so I mean that helps get in and out of the car very much so.
And not that, for a very stiff car, not that higher sill as well, and not that wider sill.
No, I mean obviously this is the carbon fibre tub itself, so it's when you get in the 12C, you certainly feel as if you're in a tub. You certainly feel as though you're in a carbon fibre chassised car.
The standard sort of sports car, you're sitting in the car rather than riding on top of it.
Yeah, I mean you're certainly very aware that you're protected by this tub,
Yes.
and I mean obviously your seat is bolted to this tub, as is the front suspension. So from a driver feedback point of view, it's you really feel as if you're in and with the car. You feel as one with the car. The interior itself, we've tried to. The idea is to keep it very kind of user friendly, uncluttered, just really simple, so that the driver can really get on with driving the car without too much information bombarding them.
So here we are in the driver's seat of the MP4-12C, and yeah, as you were saying, it's very much an uncluttered position. Central rev counter, 2 side displays, gear changes, couple of ancillary stalks for all the boring stuff like washers, wipers and everything else.
Absolutely.
And then a large sort of screen display in the centre, coupled with some button work, parking brake, your gear selectors and various vents around us. But it's very much, you've created a very nice airy, open feeling by having this central pod.
Yeah, I mean, although the 12C itself is quite a compact car, we didn't want the interior claustrophobic or anything. So, by keeping it simple and clutter-free, you don't create that kind of, too much, too close kind of feel. So, although saying that, we did need to keep the occupants of the car close together, obviously for weight distribution purposes. So the centre console was kept very narrow. We transferred the heat controls to the doors. So it's a dual zone system anyway, so it makes sense.
So passenger and driver both have their own comfort controls,
exactly,
if you like.
Yeah. And so by keeping, by spreading these out, we can keep this still quite narrow but clutter-free. And we sit quite close together, but perhaps not too cosy.
And also, you've got a fair amount of headroom, enough for a helmet. If you were wanting to track the car.
Absolutely, and we call it the AM car. I mean, we certainly understand that people are going to want to take this car on track, and it's certainly something that we would be happy to.
Even if only to experience it once, I'm sure.
Well, yeah. I mean, perhaps not. I mean, I'm sure. To drive this car, in an enthusiastic way is it's so encouraging. It's you really do want more. And the car, you'll certainly reach the end. Well, for a normal driver like myself, you certainly run out of talent before the car does. Certainly.
That's always the worrying thing. Is no one drives a car 10/10 unless they're unless they're a superstar or slightly foolish. Again. All the driver aids are here, though, presumably, and as we said before, you can select things that are there to protect you in terms of driver aids, so that you don't get too silly.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, I mean, obviously, as I mentioned before, when you get into the car initially, everything is always set to the normal. So your handling and performance is set to normal, and the car's an automatic car.
So these 2 toggle switches are exactly that, to set up just your car setup switches.
That's exactly
so H for handling, P for performance.
Yep. So I mean, you can have any combination of those settings, whichever you like. So you can have a very compliant ride with a quite aggressive, power delivery chain, or you can have it the other way around. So I mean, obviously, when you get into the car, it's normal, but you can select sport or performance for each of those. Sport or track, sorry. The car does become a bit of a different animal when you select it from normal to track. Certainly you could go down the shops in normal mode, but if you wanted to take it on the country lane, you might select sport. Obviously if you're going on a circuit, you might select track, but they're all there, and they do make a big difference.
Fantastic. Well, it certainly feels sort of very well put together in terms of the fit and finish. The tradition, the leather finishes, the stitching, it echoes quality throughout. So, wish you
all the best with the project.
Thank you very much.